Alright, this video is about something pretty important here about best easy work and should you use postcards. Now, I get questions about this. Should you use postcards? There's always a thought that where I get this question asked of me personally, do I use postcards? What's my thoughts on it? And so in this video, I'm going to reveal my shocking revelation to postcards. Should you use it or should you not use it? So here's pretty much why people use postcards. And so why would anyone want to use postcards, right? You're going, postcards, okay. The number one reason people use postcards and why I actually love postcards is because it's so simple. It's so simple and easy to use. It doesn't require a whole lot of training to use postcards. You know, once you get those postcards, all you got to do is put a mailing list label on the back of it, put a stamp on it, and mail it out. That's it. You're done. So that's the beautiful thing about postcards. It's just really easy to use. And if the postcards are already created, right, so you didn't have to create it yourself, it's just even super simple. And if all the information goes back to, say, an admin or a monitor that, takes care of all the ordering process, that's even more perfect. So it's a simple thing to use. The next top reason why people use postcards or want to use postcards is they don't have to talk to anyone. So typically the postcard goes out with a call to action that tells the person to do one thing. And that person have to do that in order to get the information. So you being that person, they don't know who you are, so you don't have to call them up and say, hey, did you listen to this? Do you have more questions? They just get the postcard and they follow the postcard and do what's on the postcard. So that's the beautiful thing about using postcards. So I'll show you what a postcard of best easy work looks like. This is one of them. And then to actually find these postcards, you'd go to Best Easy Work and go in your back office. So under your back office here, you'll see the training tab. And all you do is just click on the training tab and it will open up into a new window and you just click on postcards and it will take you exactly to where you need to be. So if you're contemplating, using postcards, that's how you would find it in your Best Easy Work back office. But of course, stick around because what I have to show you at the end of the video is really going to shock you here in terms of what I think about postcard market and how to do this right here. So the postcards, you can scroll down and see a whole bunch of these postcards are very nice. And you can just imagine if they were printed on paper and someone getting them, the feel of it. I mean, these are beautiful postcards. Someone did a very nice job creating these postcards. And I've actually seen this one postcard here in yellow. And it looks really good in like a high glossy yellow. So it's a great thing. And of course you could edit these, download these, and edit these and change them, to maybe put your name on there or do some other things with them before you send them off to be printed to create postcards for yourself. So you could definitely, come back here, and if you want to make some postcard, you could click here and it opens up in a new site. So this is one of the sites it opens up to. So it opens up and it lets you know you could get postcards. The price is about 24 bucks. From 24 bucks. So when you open it up here, you click on it, it gets you another screen like this, and you see if you want to order 4 by 6. Now 4 by 6 is a standard postcard size. You know those normal postcards you get opportunities on? That's a standard size. So if you go through and pick, you can see that 100 postcards to order them is about 27 bucks. Now if you go to different prices, you could definitely toggle through there and decide what quantity you want, and it tells you the price. So 500 is about 47 bucks, and 1,000 is about 56 bucks. So for a little more, for 500 more, you definitely get a whole lot more of postcards. Now you could also go back to your Best Easy Work office here, and if you scroll down some more, you'll see this postcard here, and this one's another beautiful one. And for that one, all you need to do is pretty much just click here and you'll get a cut. Actually, click here and that one will open in this space here. You'll see the postcard here. Now this one is actually a 6.5 by 9 inches, so it's a little bit bigger than your standard postcard. So that will grab attention as well, but you can see it's very, very eye-catching. And so that's what it looks like. So really an eye-catching postcard with all the information. Get some sizzle in there so people respond to it. And of course you'd have to put your Best Easy Work call to action here. So wherever you want people to go after they hit Best Easy Work, that's what you put for the URL here. Of course, I suggest to people that, if you're going to be marketing any anything, that you definitely have a system in place that you control, right? And I've talked about that in a whole lot of videos, and you could also get my training about that to tell you how you could, set up your own system. So you put your system email here. That's what website here. That's what I suggest there. Now, if you scroll down to get these postcards, let's see here. You'll see the different prices. 200 is $60 and 1,000 is 200 bucks. So that's different from the ones we saw in here. I told you the ones on here, a 4x6, get those kind of postcards about 56 bucks. On this one, it's a bigger size. It's about 200 bucks. So I imagine most people would probably gravitate to this one because you can get 1,000 postcards for 56 bucks. So it's like, okay, that works. Now the next part of the puzzle is you need to go get a mailing list because you need to put the name on the postcard in order to mail it out. So on the back of Best Easy Work, there's a place you could get mailing lists here. So you can come back here, and there's actually a place you come back here and get the mailing list. But for the sake of this video, just to be quick about it, just go back there, check it out if you want a mailing list. But when you go back there, you'll find a mailing list that looks like this. So this is a mailing list that's suggested in the back office here, and you'll see they have all different types of lists. So there are different type of targeted marketing here. You have opportunity seekers, you have in-house opportunity seekers, you have MLM leads and marketing entrepreneurs. So quite a bit of lists here. So you just read through it, see which one you want to kind of test, and then go from there. But you can see the prices range from 200 names being 30 bucks up to 1,000 names or more. It's $75 per 1,000. So normally what people do is they buy a mailing list, 1,000 names, because it's usually much cheaper to buy it in bulk than it is to buy a little at a time, say 200. But if you're doing 100 mailing, you just need a small amount, right? Okay, so that's one piece of the next piece of the puzzle. The final piece of the puzzle is you need your stamps. So the cost of stamps, let's go look at that. And this is for 2018 here. You see for 2018. The postcard stamp will cost you 35 cents. So if you're looking at the first class stamps, that's 50 cents. And that's why most people prefer mailing postcards as opposed to letters, because you can mail twice as much, right? So you could probably, 35 cents, although if you do that twice, that's 70 cents. But it's cheaper than mailing the letter first class. So that takes care of it. That's all you need to go do a mailing. Now let's go talk about the nitty-gritty of this stuff here. So that's a postcard. Let's go talk about the cost to mail postcards. So this is where it gets interesting here. And then I could, give my final piece on what I think about postcard mailing here. So, and let me just say, I love postcard mail. When I first started, postcard mail was the way I did things because, it was really simple. It was really easy, simple system to train people how to do. It didn't require much. So this is how it breaks down. To mail 100 postcards, you're going to pay about $35 for the list. So it's 35 cents, right? To mail one postcard, so it's going to pay $35 to mail 100. And for the postcards itself, to buy the actual postcard, it's 30 bucks. So it's about 100 bucks to mail 100 postcards. The next thing is, if you decide, okay, let me step that up a bit, or maybe do mail, say, every month you're going to mail 100, then you're going to mail 500, and you say, okay, every month I'm going to mail 100. So if you're going to mail 500 overall, it's going to cost you $55 for the list, $175 for the postcard stamps, and so that's 35 cents times that 500, that's 175, and plus your postcard, 500 postcards, that's 50 bucks, so the total is about 280. So definitely check my math, but I think I'm pretty right with this, because I did use a calculator. Now at 1,000 postcards you're going to mail, it's going to cost $75 for the list, right? The stamps are going to cost $350 because 0.35, that's 35 cents times 1,000, that's 350 bucks. Plus the postcards itself, about 60 bucks. So it's looking like about $485 to mail 1,000 postcards. Okay, so this is where, I really dive in and say, okay, does it make sense to mail postcards? And if it does, let's go for it. If it doesn't, let's find something different, right? So looking at this, postcard responses. Now, postcard responses or even mail-in responses is tricky. You usually get, say, anywhere from a 1% or less. I mean, really, that's the average people are getting in postcard, in just mailing things in general. So the way you have to do is you have to mail a lot of mailers out there in order to get the desired response you're looking for. So let's say you want 1,000 people to join whatever it is, you probably have to mail a whole lot. I'm talking a whole lot more than 1,000 postcards, a couple thousands here in order to get to 1,000, because the responses are really low. And the reason being is people get these things in the mail and they sit on them, right? They don't rush to their computers and go log on and go to your site, or they don't rush and listen to that phone call and then automatically go call you up and join your business. People tend to put these things aside, and then when they get back to it, that's when they get back to it. So there's no urgency on their part unless you have some killer copy on there, which, as you can see, you know what? There's not much killer stuff out there. You just have to hit people at the right time. So you could get a 1 response, you're doing pretty good. If you're getting a 10 response, it's like unheard of in the industry. But you know what? Anything's possible, right? So I decided to put a 10% response. So if it's miraculously good at 10%, I calculated them. So at 1%, you're getting 1 response out of 100. So if you mail 100 postcards, you get 1 person to, say, maybe join free with Best Easy Work. Or up to 10 people join free with Best Easy Work. And at 500, you could get 5 people joining at 1%, 5 people joining Best Easy Work, and 50 people joining Best Easy Work, or if you go up to 1,000. So as you can see, you got to mail a lot more postcards in order to get any kind of significant results, right? Because at these low numbers, it's like the numbers are just not working. You need a whole influx of mailing these postcards for people to respond to them. So that's what you're fighting against when you're mailing postcards. And that's why I personally don't mail postcards, because it just costs way too much to mail to not get the same amount of results that I could get doing something a whole lot cheaper, but I get better results. And that's where I talk about, and you heard me talk about, having a system in place that you send traffic to, and that converts the traffic that you then send to Best Easy Work. So if you don't have my system, definitely check the description box. I probably put a link to the training site so you can get some more info. But that's my thing with this. If you're struggling in Best Easy Work, postcards might not be your thing. Reason being is, you know what? You probably don't have the money to even upgrade, right? And if you don't have the money to upgrade, you're going to plunk your money into postcard marketing, because it's easy saying, okay, I'm going to take that money, mail postcards, and then when people upgrade and get into Best Easy Work, I'm going to take that money and then upgrade myself. So that probably won't work very quickly for you. So you're going to plunk a lot more money trying to get people to join and upgrade than if you did something different, which I definitely want to show you what I do that's different, that's, having better results for me. So the thing is there a better and easier alternative like mailing postcards, right? It's simple to mail postcards. Is there another way that's simple that won't cost me this kind of money? And I'm here to tell you that there is. I've used a service called Classifieds Submissions here, and they advertise your site to over 1,000 places a month automatically. You put the ad in there one time. It's like mailing out postcards, but it's just done online. They put the ads in over 1,000 places automatically. Actually, 500 plus classified ad sites for you, and some other different places that gets your message out. So you get a lot more bang for your buck. So what I suggest people do, is in terms of doing that you go to a different site that blasts your message out so you can get a lot more bang for your buck. And it's really affordable. You could get 500 classified sites, be on 500 classified sites for $40 period. You don't have to do the monthly thing. You can sign up once and use that service, but it's better than sending out 500 postcards at $280 and not getting the response. Now, I've used this system myself, 500 classified sites, using my system. I'm getting signups, and opt-ins and activity in my business all day long. So that's why I recommend using something a little different than going out there spending this kind of money where you're not, you just won't see that. So this is a simpler alternative to actually making it work versus postcards.